Speaking of tech, let's move on to our small business spotlight. Aaron Radin is here with us right now, CEO of Toura, right?
Yes.
Aaron, tell us what Toura is before we dive into the tech world.
So Toura is a platform for creating mobile applications, but creating mobile applications across different mobile environments. So phones, tablets, Android, Apple. And as you may know, in order to create applications across those different types of platforms, it generally requires a different set of code, and that means more time and more money.
So this mobile, basically it's a mobile app producer.
Correct.
What you do. So your baseline to the app. I need you if I'm going to create an app.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. So we work with publishers who want to distribute their content to the widest audience possible in the most efficient and cost-effective way possible. Now that sounds intuitive, right? Mm-hmm. But in the world of mobile applications, you have different types of devices. You have different types of operating systems. Those different devices and operating systems require that you actually write software to publish to them distinctly. What we do is we've written one set of software that allows you to publish once and reach all of the devices simultaneously.
But there's a lot of different of you out there. I mean, I guess I would call you maps. Can I call you that? There's a lot of different mobile app producers out there, are there not?
There are, but generally, when you look at the universe of mobile developers, and that's generally how we refer to them, is you have those who are expert in developing for the Apple system, or what's iOS, is it called, or right. Android software. There is very, very little overlap between them, meaning those who are able to produce across both platforms, and even less of those who are able to produce across both platforms simultaneously.
So you're cross-platform. So I want to come up with an app. Many apps right now are just on the iPhone, just Correct. On the iPad. I have a Droid. I'm apparently in the dark ages. So I can't get these things on my Droid. So what you're saying is that you will allow the app creator to send this out across the board.
Correct.
So why wouldn't everybody do this? Why wouldn't every app creator come to you?
Well, if you look at the universe of what's being done in application development, there
right.
are most applications do want to do what we're suggesting here, which is publish across as many devices mm-hmm. as possible. There are some developers who will do some very specific bespoke type customization for applications, and in those cases, and we even say they're better off using a custom application developer. But for the most part, when you're talking about publishers who want to reach the masses with content and reach the widest possible audience, and by the way, you're not in the minority. The majority of devices sold today are Android devices.
Oh, well, they certainly make you feel like you're in the minority, right? Those iPhone, iPad users. So how many people do you have using your product now?
So we have a few dozen clients on the platform today. Those range from very large publishers, book publishers. So for example, John Wiley & Sons is a client. Mm-hmm. We also have a specialty actually in the art space. So we work with a number of large museum clients. So Art Institute of Chicago, the British Library, Smithsonian, the Getty are all clients of ours as well using the system.
So the goal clearly is to get the word out there so people start using the product.
Correct.
How do I get it?
How do you get the product? Well, we work directly with publishers,
right.
And the publishers actually market their own applications. So, for example, we helped the Art Institute of Chicago produce an application for their French Impressionism collection. Obviously, it's a world-famous collection, and in fact, we've seen take-up of that application across the world. 30% or so is international traffic.
Some pictures of it up right now.
Great. But the clients that we're working with, who generally have the brand name, and we're publishing these applications under the brand names of our clients, are generally responsible for marketing to their constituencies.
So you're somewhat still staying on the back burner then, if the name's not getting out there.
We're a business-to-business platform.
Right.
So it's software as a service. We train our clients, and they have the ability to create the applications themselves. I mean, one of the tricky things about mobile application development, just like content publishing in general, is remaining in control of your content. And so while that sounds obvious that I produce content and I'm in control of it, generally when you work with mobile application developers, you lose control of your content. You ship your content off, they wrap it up in some type of software package, and then it's out published in
right.
the universe. What we do is we give control of the content to our customers, meaning they're in total control of when they publish and how they publish that content and how they make updates to it going forward.
What are some of the trends then that you see going forward in this industry? Is that it? Is what you're in one of the trends, or are we going to move beyond that where I don't need you anymore?
Well, a couple things. One is it's very, very difficult to predict the future in the mobile space. If you went back a year and a half ago, there was really no Android. There was no tablet devices in the marketplace. So it's very difficult to predict 6 months, much less 18 months into the future. Clearly, from a trend standpoint, people are consuming content through mobile devices, and that's increasing dramatically every day. I think one of the trends that's expected is that more people will consume content through mobile devices than through their desktop PC on the internet.
I see that easily.
So that's one thing we want to be cognizant of. So we certainly want to continue to help publishers try and reach that audience. Will we get disintermediated from the process? I don't think so, because generally publishers, what their core competency is and where they want to focus is creating great content. And
not
we are
writing the code.
Not writing the code.
You're right.
I come from a background on the publishing side, and I know that we weren't best at that. What our competency was creating content.
Aaron, how do we find you if we're interested?
Toura.com, Toura.com.